Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like life was pressing down on you? Like the weight of the world was crushing your chest? Maybe everything felt too hard, too heavy, too much to handle. You looked at your circumstances and thought, oh, why me? Why now? But what if I told you that the pressure you feel right now isn't there to destroy you? It's there to define you. What if that struggle, that challenge, that heartbreak is actually the universe shaping you into the person you were born to become? Ohan building connections speak to their pain and hope. See, most people spend their entire lives running from pressure, running from failure, from discomfort, from rejection. But here's the truth. You cannot become a diamond if you keep avoiding the heat. Every breakthrough in life comes wrapped in pressure. That pressure you're feeling, it's not punishment. It's preparation. It's life testing your capacity. It's life asking you, do you really want what you say you want? You hard promise, convince them to stay and listen. If you stay with me for the next few minutes, I promise you, something inside you will shift. You'll start to see your pressure differently. You'll realize that the pain you've been avoiding is actually the path to your next level of power, peace, and purpose. Because listen, you don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's heavy. You grow when it's hard. You grow when life squeezes you and you decide to shine anyway. So don't run, don't numb it, don't escape it. Lean in, because pressure creates diamonds. And today, we're going to find the diamond inside you. You know, the funny thing about life is that we all pray for strength. But when life gives us the situations that build strength, we start asking, why is this happening to me? We beg for growth, but we run from the very pressure that causes it. Let me tell you something, pressure isn't punishment, it's the path to power. We've been conditioned to think that pressure means something's wrong, that if we're overwhelmed, struggling, or stretched, it's a sign we're off track. But that's not true. Pressure is proof that you're in the process of becoming something greater. It's not there to crush you, it's there to call you higher. Think about it. Diamonds don't form in comfort. They're created under intense heat, deep beneath the surface where no one can see what's happening. That's where transformation happens, in the dark, under pressure. You don't get a diamond without friction, without fire, without time. And that's the same with you. You can't reach your full potential living in comfort. Most people want to grow, but they don't want to be stretched. They want success, but they don't want struggle. They want transformation, but they don't want tension. You can't have one without the other. The muscle only grows through resistance. The spirit only strengthens through challenge. The mind only expands when it's pushed beyond what it already knows. Pressure reveals you. It doesn't create weakness. It exposes it. It brings to the surface the places where you've been pretending you're fine. It shows you what still needs healing, what still needs work. That's why it feels uncomfortable, because it's uncovering what's real. But that discomfort, that's a gift. It means growth is happening. Every person you admire, every leader, every achiever, every person who changed their life went through pressure. They faced moments where everything in them wanted to quit, but something inside whispered, keep going. That whisper, that fire, that's your higher self calling you forward. Pressure is the invitation to meet that version of yourself. But here's where most people get stuck. They start comparing their pressure to someone else's progress. They see someone else shining and forget that person went through years of grinding. They look at the diamond and forget the darkness it came from. Stop doing that. Your pressure is yours for a reason. You're being shaped for a purpose that's unique to you. When you shift your perspective, when you stop saying, this is too much, and start asking, what is this making me? Everything changes. You move from victim to victor. You stop resisting life and start partnering with it. You stop seeing pressure as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. You see, life isn't testing you because it wants to hurt you. Life tests you to reveal how powerful you really are. Every challenge carries the seed of your next breakthrough. Every setback is shaping your comeback. But you only experience that transformation if you stay in the process long enough to let the pressure do its work. You can't rush it. You can't skip it. You have to stay in it. That's where character is built. That's where emotional muscle is formed. That's where true strength comes from, not from avoiding pain, but from enduring it with purpose. I've met people who faced unimaginable pressure, people who lost everything, people who were betrayed, rejected, broken. And do you know what I've seen? Those who chose to face the pressure, instead of escaping it, didn't just survive. They evolved. Their pain became their power. Their story became their strength. That's what happens when you stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. Pressure refines you. It forces you to let go of what no longer serves you. It strips away your excuses, your ego, your need for control. It humbles you, but it also awakens you. It's the universe saying, there's more in you than you're showing. And until you face pressure, you'll never know how much power you actually have. So the next time life feels heavy, when everything seems to be falling apart, take a breath and remind yourself, this is not punishment, this is preparation. You're not being buried, you're being planted. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. Every diamond began as something ordinary until it went through something extraordinary. The same is true for you. Your pressure is not your enemy, it's your making. Because pressure doesn't destroy the diamond, it reveals it. Let me tell you something most people never admit out loud: growth demands discomfort. We live in a world that constantly tells us to seek comfort, to avoid struggle, to chase ease and convenience. And somewhere along the way, we started believing that life's greatest achievements could be won without sweat, without pain, without a fight. But that's a lie. Real growth doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. Real growth comes when you push past it, when you step into the struggle, when you choose the challenge that makes you uncomfortable. Think about the last time you truly grew. Was it during an easy, predictable, effortless moment, or was it in the middle of the fire when things felt uncertain, when you weren't sure you could make it? Growth doesn't announce itself politely. It doesn't knock on the door and wait for your approval. It arrives disguised as discomfort. It comes dressed as obstacles, as setbacks, as problems that seem too big to solve, and it whispers, step up or stay the same. Most people run. They run from discomfort, from tension, from what feels too hard. They chase what feels safe, what feels easy, and they wonder why their life feels stagnant. They don't realize that every shortcut they take, every easy choice is costing them the transformation they're craving. You can't get stronger by avoiding the weights. You can't develop resilience by ducking the storms. You can't expand your mind if you never stretch it. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the signpost pointing directly to growth. Here's the truth. When you start seeking discomfort, you start finding opportunity. The very situations that make you squirm are the situations that will teach you how powerful you really are. Every challenge, every trial, every moment that makes you feel uneasy is a chance to prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. That's where your potential lies, not in ease, but in struggle. And the amazing thing about leaning into discomfort is that it changes your perception of life itself. You begin to see problems as possibilities. You begin to welcome challenges because you know they are invitations to expand. You stop fearing failure because you understand that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every time you face something uncomfortable and keep moving forward, you're building muscle in your mind, in your spirit, in your character. That muscle doesn't grow when you sit on the couch or play it safe. It grows when you fight for it. Some of the most successful people you know, the ones who inspire, who innovate, who create massive change, didn't get there by avoiding discomfort. They got there by sitting with it, by leaning into it, by refusing to let fear of difficulty dictate their choices. They understood that the longer you can stay with tension without resisting it, the faster you grow. Every setback, every moment of uncertainty is not an obstacle to your success. It is the pathway to it. And here's the part most people overlook. Leaning into discomfort doesn't just prepare you for the future. It changes who you are in the present. When you embrace the struggle, you discover strengths you never knew you had. You develop clarity, courage, and confidence that cannot be taught in a classroom or bought with money. You learn that you are capable of far more than you imagined. The world doesn't need you to be comfortable. It needs you to be capable. And capability is forged through the fire of discomfort. It's natural to resist. Our instincts tell us to avoid what hurts, to shy away from what challenges us. But instincts don't build champions. Choices do. Every time you choose discomfort over comfort, challenge over convenience, courage over fear, you are training yourself to grow. You are teaching yourself that you are bigger than your circumstances. You are proving to yourself that no matter what life throws at you, you can rise, you can adapt, and you can evolve. And this doesn't mean seeking discomfort for the sake of pain. It means stepping into the necessary tension that pushes you toward your next level. It means confronting what's holding you back, facing what you've been avoiding, and doing the work when it feels hard. Because the truth is, you don't become extraordinary by sticking with the ordinary. You become extraordinary by stretching, by leaning into the challenge, by learning to love the discomfort that brings transformation. Discomfort is the sign that growth is happening. It's the signal that you're leaving your old self behind and moving into a stronger, wiser, more capable version of you. The more you can tolerate tension without running from it, the more you expand your capacity for success, for joy, for freedom. It's in these moments when you could quit, when you could hide, when everything inside you is screaming to step back, that you either settle for ordinary or rise to extraordinary. So stop waiting for life to feel easy. Stop wishing for the path to be smooth. The smooth path leads nowhere. The path that stretches you, that challenges you, that makes you uncomfortable. That's where the growth lives. That's where your strength is born. That's where you stop being who you were yesterday and start becoming who you were meant to be. Because growth only comes to those who embrace the struggle, not run from it. Let me tell you something most people don't understand. Fear is not the stop sign. Fear is the signal. It's your body, your mind, your soul telling you that you're stepping into new territory, that you're on the edge of growth. And yet so many people see fear as a warning to retreat, as a reason to give up. They hear it, feel it, and immediately step back, thinking they're protecting themselves. But here's the truth. The very thing you're afraid of is often the thing will transform your life. Think about the moments when you felt fear the most. Maybe it was standing in front of a crowd speaking your truth. Maybe it was starting a new job, leaving a toxic situation, or saying no to someone or something that was holding you back. That tightness in your chest, the racing of your heart, the voice whispering, you can't do this. That's not your enemy. That's a signal. It's a message saying you're about to level up. You're about to step into what you've been avoiding. Most people let fear dictate their decisions. They allow it to limit their choices, to shrink their dreams, to silence their potential. But what if you saw fear differently? What if instead of a wall, you saw it as a door? A door that leads to a bigger version of yourself. A door that opens only when you have the courage to step through it. Fear is the doorway to growth, but it only works if you move toward it instead of running away. When you face fear, you learn something remarkable. It's never as big as it feels. You always overestimate the risk and you underestimate your strength. Fear has a way of exaggerating the danger and minimizing your ability to handle it. But when you take that first step, when you move forward, even though your body is screaming to stay put, you discover that the power you feared you lacked has been inside you all along. Every time you face fear, you expand your capacity to handle life, to handle challenges, to handle yourself. Fear also teaches you what's truly important. It shines a light on what matters enough for you to fight for, what's worth stepping into discomfort for. Fear separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It separates the people who dream from the people who act. It separates the ones who wait for life to happen from the ones who make it happen. And the incredible thing is, fear doesn't disappear by ignoring it. It disappears by facing it. The only way to dissolve fear is through action. The only way to shrink it is to stare it in the eye and walk straight into it. Think about the moments in history when someone dared to move despite fear. Every innovation, every breakthrough, every story of courage begins with fear. Fear is universal, but courage is a choice. Fear is normal, but action is optional. You don't need to be fearless to succeed. You just need to move forward even when you are afraid. That's the difference between those who live average lives and those who live extraordinary ones. And here's the thing, fear is not always logical. Sometimes it comes from past experiences, sometimes from self-doubt, sometimes from stories you've told yourself over and over again. It might be irrational, but that doesn't make it less real in the moment. You don't need to rationalize it. You just need to act in spite of it. You need to trust that the discomfort you feel is the compass pointing you toward growth, not away from it. Every time you step into fear, it becomes a little less powerful. Every time you face what scares you, you train yourself to rise above it. You build resilience. You build confidence. You build proof that you can handle life, no matter how big or scary it seems. And here's the most beautiful part. The more you confront fear, the more it shifts from being an obstacle to becoming a guide. It starts showing you the direction you need to go rather than holding you back. So don't wait for fear to disappear. Don't hope that the feeling will magically vanish. It won't. Fear is part of the journey. It's part of every breakthrough, every step forward, every transformation. The question isn't whether you'll feel fear, it's whether you'll move forward anyway. It's whether you'll let fear direct your life, whether you'll use it as a signal that you're on the right path. The truth is, your biggest opportunities live on the other side of fear. Your next level, your next breakthrough, your next success, your next version of yourself, it's all waiting there, just beyond the fear. And the moment you choose to walk through it, to embrace it, to step into the unknown anyway, you'll discover that you are far stronger than you ever imagined. Fear doesn't mean stop. It means go. You know, so many people chase success like it's the ultimate goal, like it's the finish line, like once they have enough money, recognition, or achievement, everything will suddenly feel complete. But here's the truth. Success without pressure is fragile. It can be taken away in an instant. It can crumble under even the smallest challenge. The real value in life isn't measured by what you accomplish, but by who you become while achieving it. Pressure shapes character, and character sustains success. Without it, achievement is empty and triumph is temporary. Think about the people you admire most. Their victories didn't come from easy circumstances or smooth roads. Their victories came from enduring storms, from facing trials, from having to make choices when the world was stacked against them. They were tested by life in ways most people wouldn't survive. Pressure forced them to dig deeper, to stand taller, to rise above what they thought were their limits. That's how greatness is built, not by luck, not by convenience, not by avoiding difficulty, by facing it head on and letting it shape you. Pressure reveals the truth about yourself. It uncovers the places where you've been pretending, the areas where you've been avoiding responsibility, the corners of your mind and heart where weakness has been hiding, and it's not pleasant to see yourself this way at first. You want to shrink from it, to blame circumstances, to avoid the reflection staring back at you. But if you lean into it, pressure becomes the tool that transforms you. It's refining fire. It strips away the unessentials. It purifies your priorities. And it forges a strength you can't build any other way. Every challenge, every deadline, every difficult conversation, every setback. These are not interruptions in your life. They are the very instruments that will build your resilience, your patience, your emotional strength. Pressure forces you to act with clarity when confusion is all around you. It teaches you to make decisions when doubt clouds your mind. It molds you into someone who doesn't just survive hardship, but thrives in it. And when you finally look back, you realize that every trial wasn't a punishment, it was a lesson. Every obstacle was shaping the person you needed to become to handle the life you've been striving for. Most people try to run from pressure. They try to minimize it, ignore it, distract themselves from it. They say, if life were easier, I'd be happy. If things weren't so stressful, I could do more. But here's the secret: ease doesn't build strength. Comfort doesn't create resilience. Smooth roads don't produce leaders. Life's real tests are in the moments that feel impossible, and how you respond in those moments determines not just your outcomes, but your character. Character is the foundation beneath every lasting success. You can earn a fortune, but without character, it can vanish overnight. You can achieve recognition, but without character, it's hollow. Pressure gives you the opportunity to build integrity, courage, patience, and discipline. Pressure forces you to examine who you really are, what you really value, and how committed you are to becoming your best self. And when you accept it, when you embrace it, you realize that pressure is not a threat to your life. It is the architect of it. Here's the thing, pressure doesn't just make you stronger in moments of struggle. It prepares you for the future. Every challenge you face today trains you for the bigger challenges of tomorrow. Every difficult decision you make under stress equips you with wisdom and confidence that you can't get any other way. The more you face pressure now, the less it will control you later. The more you endure, the more capable you become of handling life on a larger scale. And yet, many people still resist. They complain about stress, complain about responsibility, complain about expectations. They see pressure as a burden instead of a teacher. But the truth is, without pressure, you would never know the depths of your own courage. Without pressure, you would never discover what you are truly capable of enduring. Without pressure, success is temporary because it is unsupported by the strength to sustain it. Pressure is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. So don't wish for life to be easier. Don't pray for pressure to disappear. Don't look at difficulty as an enemy. It isn't trying to break you, it's trying to build you. Every trial, every challenge, every moment of tension is shaping your character. And your character is what will carry you through every achievement, every victory, every milestone you ever want to reach. Because success without pressure is temporary, but character forged in pressure lasts a lifetime. Let me tell you something most people get completely wrong. Pain is not your enemy. Most of us spend our lives trying to avoid it, numb it, or run from it, thinking that if we just escape discomfort, life will finally feel safe and manageable. But the truth is, pain is not here to punish you. Pain is here to teach you, to guide you, to push you toward the growth you've been avoiding. It's the compass that points you toward your next level if you're willing to look at it honestly. You see, every challenge, every heartbreak, every setback carries a hidden message. It's there to show you something about yourself that you might not want to see. And most people react by asking, why is this happening to me? That question keeps you stuck. It makes pain feel like a trap. But there's another question, a question that changes everything. What is this trying to teach me? When you ask that, everything shifts. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and you start being a student of life. You start turning every setback into a setup. The key is understanding that pain is fuel, not an excuse. You can either let it define you, hold you back, and make you bitter, or you can let it propel you, teach you, and make you stronger. Every person who has ever accomplished something remarkable has learned how to turn pain into power. They've taken the moments that would have crushed someone else and transformed them into the very energy that drove their success. Think about the times you faced disappointment. Maybe someone rejected you, or a dream you had fell apart, or life didn't go the way you imagined. Those moments feel heavy, they feel unfair, and they do. Life can be unfair, but that unfairness is exactly what gives you the opportunity to rise. Pain strips away illusions. Pain forces clarity. Pain forces action. You can't grow in comfort. You can't learn lessons in ease. Pain pushes you to see what you are truly capable of, to rise up when everything inside you wants to give up. And here's the thing, the world is full of people who let pain paralyze them. They use it as an excuse to stop trying, to stop believing, to stop moving. But if you want to stand out, if you want to reach the life you're capable of, you have to do the opposite. You have to face it, embrace it, and channel it into action. You have to take the energy of your struggle and turn it into determination, into focus, into persistence. Pain is a teacher, but you have to be willing to learn the lesson. Most people only see the immediate discomfort. They only see the wound, the loss, the difficulty. They don't see the growth that lies beyond it. But if you take the long view, if you step back and ask, what can I take from this? How can this make me stronger? Suddenly your pain becomes purposeful. Every rejection becomes a redirection. Every failure becomes feedback. Every setback becomes the foundation for a comeback. You also have to understand that the timing of pain is never random. Life doesn't punish you by giving you difficulty. It challenges you because it knows you're ready to rise. The moments that feel unbearable are often the moments just before your breakthrough. The very thing that feels like it will break you is often exactly what will build you. If you stay in the process long enough, if you don't run from the discomfort, you will find strength you didn't know you had, courage you didn't know you could summon, and clarity you couldn't have gained any other way. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering comes when you resist it, when you argue with it, when you insist life shouldn't be this way. Transformation comes when you accept it, when you learn from it, when you use it as fuel. You can take every hurt, every disappointment, every challenge, and let it either weigh you down or lift you higher. The choice is yours. So stop asking, why me? Start asking, what is this for? Stop avoiding pain. Stop pretending it isn't there. Face it, feel it, learn from it, and then take that energy and use it to push yourself further than you ever thought possible. Every obstacle carries the seed of a breakthrough. Every wound carries the spark of growth. Every struggle is an opportunity to rise, because pain is not your punishment, it is your power. Let me tell you something most people don't understand. The moment you feel like giving up is usually the moment right before your breakthrough. Life has a way of testing us, of pushing us to the edge, of placing us in situations where everything inside us screams to quit. And most people do quit. They stop, they retreat, they settle for less than they are capable of. But the people who change their lives, the people who leave a mark on the world, the people who rise, they don't quit. They push through. They endure. They keep going when every part of them wants to stop. That's where transformation happens. That's where diamonds are formed. You see, breakthroughs are rarely easy. They don't come in moments of comfort or convenience. They come when you've been stretched, tested, and pressed beyond what you thought was possible. They come after late nights, hard decisions, relentless challenges, and moments where failure seemed inevitable. That's why most people never experience them. They give up too soon. They see pressure as an enemy rather than an ally. They see struggle as a reason to quit rather than an invitation to rise. And the irony is that the very thing you fear most, the thing that feels unbearable, is often the doorway to your next level. Life doesn't make things easy for a reason. It's asking, are you willing to grow? Are you willing to become the person you claim you want to be? Are you willing to endure the fire long enough to be transformed by it? The answer is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It separates those who settle from those who soar. Every time you face a breaking point, every time you feel stretched to your limits, you have a choice. You can shrink, you can quit, you can give up. Or you can rise, you can step into the fire, absorb the pressure, and let it shape you into someone stronger than you were before. Diamonds don't form without intense heat, and you cannot reach your potential without enduring challenges that feel impossible. Every breakthrough requires the willingness to sit in discomfort long enough for transformation to occur. And here's the truth, the breaking point is not the end. It's the beginning, it's life's way of showing you where your strength lies. It's life's way of saying, this is your moment, step into it. Most people think the breaking point is a sign that they've failed, but it's actually a signal that you're on the right path. It's proof that you're being stretched, refined, and prepared for something greater than you've experienced so far. Think about the times in your life when you felt completely overwhelmed. Maybe it was a personal struggle, a financial challenge, a career setback, or a relationship that was falling apart. In that moment, everything inside you wanted to run. Everything inside you said, I can't do this. But then if you kept going, if you didn't quit, you discovered something incredible. A strength you didn't know you had, a clarity you couldn't have gained any other way, a resilience that became part of who you are. That is what happens when you stay in the process long enough to let pressure do its work. Most people never understand this because they focus only on the discomfort. They only see the difficulty. They only feel the weight of the moment. But the weight is what builds you. The challenge is what teaches you. The pressure is what forges you. And when you realize this, when you finally embrace the idea that growth is always on the other side of pressure, everything changes. You stop seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, and you start seeing them as opportunities to rise. Every great transformation in history, every person who ever achieved something remarkable, went through moments where giving up seemed like the only option. They experienced failure, rejection, fear, and pain. But what set them apart wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It was the refusal to quit. They stayed in the fire long enough to see the diamond emerge. They understood that the greatest rewards come when you endure the greatest pressure. And this is why so many people live ordinary lives. They never reach their potential because they don't push past the breaking point. They stop right before the transformation occurs. But if you can train yourself to lean into pressure, to persist when others walk away, to believe in your vision even when the world doubts you, you will experience what most people never will. You will rise, you will evolve, and you will shine brighter than you ever imagined. Pressure is life's way of asking, are you ready to become who you were meant to be? The moment you want to quit is the moment that decides everything. Endure long enough, embrace the struggle, push through the discomfort, and you will not just survive, you will emerge as something stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Because the breakthrough only comes after the breaking point,